Good afternoon and welcome to more MCI. I'm your host, Blind Prime. For today, we're going to be bringing you Transformers Generations Legacy Evolution Comic Universe Tarn in his vehicle mode, his space tank mode. Now, before we get into it, I'd like to do a few shout outs to the 14th Prime. If you haven't checked out that guy's channel, he does a lot of good Transformers content. The Drunken Prime, he also does a lot of good Transformers content, and he also yells at Hasbro a lot, like I yell at Hasbro a lot. It's important to have reviewers out there who aren't afraid of yelling at the beast. And then, of course, we have Perspective In, and he's a person that I've been following for a while. I was one of his first subscribers back in the day. That was like 2020, wasn't it? He actually got me to create my own channel in 2021 in January. So I'm just like maybe 5 to 6 months older than his channel. And holy crap, his channel's got a lot more views than my channel. It's got a lot more subscribers, but I don't let that get me down. I do recommend you go check out those three creators. They do excellent work, and I absolutely love their energy that they bring to the table, and they are great additions to the Transformers community here on this platform. And if you haven't subscribed to them, then what are you doing? You go subscribe to those guys. That they will bring you a lot of fun. And that's enough of what I got to say on that one. Pointing fingers at people and go check them out. Now, we've got Tarn today. I know there's an impactor right there, but we got Tarn today we're going to talk about. And before we really get into Tarn, let's get into his siege ports because, that's my thing. I love siege ports. So he's got 2 siege ports on the long tread on his side, on each side. So that's 4 siege ports. He's also got a siege port on each side of his leg, which I currently have Victory Leo's giant cannons plugged into. So that's there. That's 4, 5, 6. Then he's got a siege port in the center of his body. That makes it 7. Then he's got a siege port over here on the side. And he's got 2 on one side and 1 on the other. So that makes it, there they are. So there was that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 siege ports because one of these has actually 2 siege ports in it and one only has 1. So that's 10 siege ports. And then we get to this crazy awesome tank turret piece, the expansion piece for the tank, and that comes with 5 siege ports. So we were at 10, we're at 15. 15 siege ports, and then you can plug a gun into it that gives you 2 more siege ports, and then we can get up to 17. And, you can go crazy with the amount of siege ports that you can expand upon with this. I mean, that's 15 siege ports. That's not bad. That's a really good number for vehicle mode. It's not as good as I would like for a tank, but I'll take it. I will take it. Hands down, yeah, it's good. I like it. Now let's do some size comparisons of this tank. And no, we'll save size comparisons for the end. Let's talk about it, in depth and stuff. So first off, let's bring out the handy dandy Lego pad. Get off the Lego pad. All right. Now we get out our handy dandy Lego pad. First off, we're gonna measure the width of the rear of this vehicle because it's wider than the front. And the rear is 12 studs wide, right? That's 9, 10, 11. It's 11 studs wide. And then the front of it is actually 8 studs. So it goes from 8 to 11 with these crazy treaded stuff on its back. The treads make it that much wider. How wide is each of these treads? Let's see. Let's just measure the width of the treads alone. The width of these treads are 1 and a little bit. Actually 2. So 2. I got that wrong. He's not 11 studs wide. He's 12 studs wide. Now let's take a look at his height. We're going to measure him by... Let's remove that little gun. There you go. Now let's measure him by the height of his turret. And the turret height is at 8. Cool. So he's at 8 from the height of his turret, and his turret is the tallest portion of this tank. He's kind of a squat tank. Set that off to the side. So let's take a look at this tank. This tank's got some excellent treads. I do love the tread sculpting here. It feels more of a weaponized tread because of the way that, usually treads, like for instance, Impactor's treads here are sculpted to be just flat, rectangles all the way around. And that's what you would expect from a tread, right? No, Tarn. Tarn's treads are creepy. Tarn's treads are cruel and mean. Tarn has treads that come into, they're diamond shaped, so they come to a spiky bit. It's kind of a rounded off spiky bit, but it's a spiky bit nonetheless. I mean, he can roll you over and shred you with his treads. This isn't a squish down and move over you like Impactor's treads would have. No, this guy's treads rip into you like a grinder or something, like a sandpaper being put upon something's skin. Like this, that is just cruel. He can hurt you with his he can tear you apart with his treads. Oh, he's just kind of an evil dude. Now, that's the treads, and terrifying as they are, I just wanted to make sure that you understood these treads are weaponized. I bet you he sharpens them. And then we come down here to the front. We got his mine catcher, this mine rake that only Impactor has. He's the only other Transformer that I've gotten so far since War for Cybertron began that has a mine scraper, like a mine rake on the front of it. And this thing can pop mines up out of the ground and stop the tank from initiating them, and then you can kind of collect them on the top. Now that's pretty neat, though I've never seen Transformers use mines. Any of the media, have they used them in the comics? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Have Transformers used mines? Is that something they've used in the past? I mean, we've come across some mine scrapers, but have they actually used mines? Let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate that. Now, we've got all sorts of weapons on this guy. Kind of wanted to showcase off this crazy awesome weapons. I got the Victory Leo cannons, so that not only can he fire straight at you, he doesn't even need to turn to track you as you try to run away from him. I love it's just it just folds out and he can track you almost 180 to 90 degrees, almost 90 degrees off to the side. He can track you. I give it 85 degrees. I think that's fun. That is a really fun thing you can do. The all of these guns on here, the ones that he comes with, are blast effect compatible. Not like Blitzwing, but we're not going to talk about Blitzwing, except to mention that Blitzwing is not part of this video. Even if he is a tank, we are not comparing him to other tanks because Blitzwing doesn't even belong in this series of Transformers Generation stuff. Hasbro really screwed the pooch when it came to Blitzwing. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were smoking. I don't know what they were ingesting, but they were doing something wrong when they came up with Blitzwing, and that's enough I'm going to say on Blitzwing. I hate that Transformer. So, let's get to the rest of this. These guns all blast effect compatible, like I said before, not like the Blitzwing, and they're excellent, perfect molds. Actually, funny enough, these guns, even though they have hollowness, they do have less hollowness than the guns that came with Victory Leo. Though the guns that came with Victory Leo also give you 2 siege ports, if you weren't aware. So you got a siege port there, and is that a siege port there? Yeah, it is. Plug in. Yeah, no wait, no, there, yeah. Siege ports and more siege ports. So technically speaking, we were at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 siege ports if you include Victory Leo's guns. That's wildness right there. I think that's funny. So those are his guns. So let's put that one back. And just plug that back in. It's getting a little crowded. All right. Now the way this tank feels, it feels quite excellent. And you got this really nice tank armor. And like I said before, it's a space tank. So you're not getting the stuff that you would get mold-wise before. Like with not Impactor, because he's also a space tank. Let's go to, are you a space tank? You're a space tank. But you're not a space tank. Yeah, Warpath. Let's remove the kickbacks swords that you've been using to scrape away at buildings on either side of you. Now Warpath here, because he's an Earth mode tank, they actually sculpted in the occasional rivets and details of his assembly. Right? So you've got man-made stuff going on here. And you can feel it. Different armor panels that were obviously put into place individually and then screwed down. That's how Warpath rolled. And that's really cool. I like that. But that's because he's an Earth-based tank. So they had to do that. The creators of this guy, the designers, realized this isn't an Earth tank, so they can't include those textures because this isn't an Earth tank. And they didn't include those textures. They included some really nice textures. Yes, indeed. But not the textures you would think. These are new space textures. You got armor that feels like it's magneted in place. Like, some high-tech connectivity devices have connected all this stuff together. You don't get rivets. You don't get anything like that. You get full melding of metal to metal. It feels excellent. Everything about this guy just it exudes fury and wrath and just destructive potential. This is a scary transformer. This is a scarier tank than the Megatron tank. Now we've got not much more to talk about. It is a tank. There's a few negatives I want to mention. Like, for instance, there's no, and it's only really one negative. It's a caster wheel problem. There is no caster wheels on this tank. They even went so far as to mold caster wheels into the treads. Like, they've molded 1, 2, 3, and 4 caster wheels on this guy, but they're not separate molds. It's just they made the plastic rounded like the half of a caster wheel. And I get it. It's to stop this guy from resting directly on the treads and ruining the treads, because after a while of vibrations and stuff, you could start chipping away at that paint. But it is annoying that he doesn't roll. When you got Warpath that rolls with his caster wheels, and you've got Megatron here. Megatron, how am I supposed to grab you? Megatron, good grief. There. Megatron with his caster wheels, and you've got Impactor with his caster wheels, so his caster wheels kind of suck. And finally, this guy, which I forgot the name of. He's the one that came with the other Hardhead and Chrome Dome, and he's got caster wheels. Maybe he's Hardhead. Yeah, he's Hardhead. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, Hardhead. Hardhead's got caster wheels. So I don't know what's going on. Why Tarn didn't receive the caster wheel upgrade, but that's what it is. So let's do some size comparisons. Tarn and Megatron side by side. I think they're pretty interesting that both of these tanks actually are about the same length. Megatron is a smidge, just a smidge longer than Tarn, and Megatron is a lot wider than Tarn on all aspects, which is really weird that Megatron is a Voyager from just a few years ago. We're talking Voyager from 2019, and we're seeing a Voyager here from 2023, and definitely already I'm seeing some size changes here. Tarn's vehicle mode isn't as big as Megatron's vehicle mode is. That's something I did want to point out. But Megatron's the only Voyager tank I have, so we're going to set Megatron off over here to the side. Let's bring in more tanks. We've got Impactor here, right? This Impactor? No, this is Warpath. Warpath here. We're going to put them back to back, and Warpath goes most of the way. I'd say halfway up the length of Tarn the tank. Warpath can actually sit. Well, he can just rest on top of that back platform on Tarn. And that's little size comparisons for Warpath. Warpath is taller than the Tarn with his little turret, but Tarn is definitely the wider one, the longer one, and the heavier one. So we're going to put Warpath over here off to the side. And finally, let's bring out Impactor one more time. Impactor, you got a nice little size comparison here going on, so let's just do that real quick. So boom, right across the back end, and then Impactor's tread, his brakey front bit. Wow, he is very close to Tarn's length, isn't he? Look at that. Man, get out of the way, you stupid. Oh, wow. Okay, he's the length of Tarn. Impactor and Tarn are the same length, or just about, close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. I think that's pretty neat. Anyway, yeah, that's, oh wait, we got Hardhead. I did compare him to you a second ago, but here's Hardhead again. Do a nice back-to-back comparison, line them up. How far does Hardhead stretch? Hardhead is actually the same length as the Tarn, but Hardhead, once again, is not the same width as Tarn. And Hardhead is a little squatter than Tarn is. Tarn's got a lot more oomph on him when it comes to the weight department. But that is all of the size comparison and comparisons of tanks. Like I said before, we're not covering Blitzwing because that doesn't deserve to be a Transformers Generations figure. It was so terrible. Thank you for watching today's video. It is pretty awesome. I'm loving every inch of this Tarn. So final thoughts on Tarn. I would give his vehicle mode an 8 out of 10. It needed a little more work to it, in my opinion. The caster wheels would have helped it. Uh, I think it could have done with a few more siege ports, and yeah, it it's pretty cool. I just wish it did things. You know, it maybe had a little panel that folded out or something like that. Yeah, you could have had something else in this vehicle mode. The vehicle mode's missing something. I'll let you know that, but I don't know what it is, but it's missing it, and so I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. It's missing something, but overall, it's an excellent, excellent, excellent vehicle mode. Now, the transformation is straight up getting a 9 out of 10. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because of those terrible clearances when you're trying to mess with the arms. That can be difficult, and that does run the risk of breaking. And he gets a full point taken off of that nonsense, and did not need to have those troubles with the clearance. You could have made the tank mode a bit bigger, and then the clearances wouldn't have mattered at all. You know, but you wanted to slim him down, and then the robot mode is an N9 out of 10, and the robot mode is excellent. It's got all sorts of goodness to it. You got some opening and closing hands. You've got some double jointed elbows. No, not double jointed knees. You've got some great posability to the figure. It is an excellent, excellent action figure. And the only reason I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 is because I think it could have been a little better. Just a smidge better. It is really close. It is really close to being a top-notch transformer. But I just can't think of what it could include to make it a 10 out of 10. Maybe some double jointed elbows, maybe something, but maybe an accessory, a transformation cog accessory would have definitely rounded everything out and made it a perfect transformer. I do think that if they'd given us a doorway on him, and that's it. That's what's messing with me. We never got any sort of panel to open and have a transformation cog inside, like we get the Matrix of Leadership panels for everybody else. Could we have gotten a transformation cog panel for Tarn? Like, that's what he's known for, is going through transformation cogs and destroying other transformers just to get their cogs. Because after all, he's addicted to transforming. And it's a little annoying that the transformer addicted to transforming has terrible clearances, and it makes me uneasy to transform. And that's why overall rating of this guy is going to be a 9 out of 10. He is an excellent transformer. He is close to perfect. Just a smidge off from perfect. But for the most part, Hasbro outdid themselves with this guy. I do recommend him. If you haven't picked up a Tarn, I do suggest you get one before the year is out and the scalpers make it too expensive for us normal people to buy. Thank you for watching today's video, and please tune in next Prime, where we will be covering on our Building Braille series the letter B. B is for Building Braille, and blind, and not Prime though, sadly. Prime is missing a few numbers, letters to equal B. Thanks for watching. Please tune in next Prime. Bye bye for now.